Reason number 46 to get a Nissan. Features, especially the ones you get with the 2025 Nissan Kicks Play. Integrated Apple CarPlay, a spacious interior, advanced safety features, and more room in your budget. Because it's the most affordable new vehicle in Quebec. Get the 2025 Nissan Kicks Play S from only $22,774, including a $2,600 cash purchase bonus. Visit your Nissan dealer today. Until March 2nd, conditions apply. Details at Nissan.
Good morning. This is Justine McIntyre. I've been sitting in for Elias Makos today, and guess what? I'll be here for the rest of the week too, sitting in for him this week and next week while he is away in the United States. So happy to be with you today, and we're going to talk now about something that has been a new old controversy kind of a thing. A topic that's come up once again is the topic of water fluoridation. Many myths surround this public health measure, but I think there might be more to the story. The city's been proposing now to stop adding fluoride to the West Island's tap water starting next year, 2025. This will impact over 143,000 residents in communities like Point Claire and Beaconsfield. The city has been citing safety concerns and rising costs, but some experts are saying that there should be more consultation before the decision is made. Of course, there has been fluoride supplemented in drinking water in North America for many years now, and that's been credited with the reduction in cavities and tooth loss over the second half of the 20th century. So, there could be some positive benefits there too. So we're going to be speaking now with Dr. Chris Labos, who's going to help us unpack some of that. Chris Labos, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So Chris Labos, you're a cardiologist. You have a degree in epidemiology, and you're a regular contributor, of course, here on CJAD. Maybe you can help us debunk some of this, or at least sort our way through it a little bit. How effective do you think water fluoridation is in preventing cavities?
I think it's very effective. I think the reason why the number of cavities went down over the course of the 20th century is because of water fluoridation. Now, here's the thing we forget is that you actually need fluoride to build strong teeth. The problem is that many parts of North America, not all parts, but certainly the northern parts and the eastern seaboard, have very little fluoride in their drinking water. And what happened is that when researchers were trying to figure out what were some of the risk factors for tooth disease, what they found is that people who lived in areas where there was a lot of fluoride in their drinking water versus very little, the people who had a lot of fluoride had less cavities. And so that's what started the process of water fluoridation, and that's the reason why many kids today don't have cavities, right? Like, I've never had a cavity as a kid. Many young children, maybe they've had one, but they often have zero. Most people go their whole lives without losing teeth. And we forget that a generation ago, getting cavities as a kid was very common. It was actually also very common for you to lose teeth as you got older. I mean, you see pictures, historical pictures of older people. They were often losing teeth. Mm-hmm. And so making sure people get the inadequate amount of fluoride is actually one of the most important things that you can do to maintain proper dental health.
Is some of that tooth loss and cavities in young people that we used to see in the past, is some of that attributable also, though, to poor dental hygiene generally and perhaps a poor diet?
Well, yeah, that certainly plays a part of it too. And so a lot of these things happen simultaneously, right? I mean, but this is the thing, like, part of good dental care is making sure people get an adequate amount of fluoride. Now, the argument that many people are going to use to say we don't need to do this anymore is like, oh, you don't need to worry about having fluoride in your tap water. You can just go to your dentist and they will apply fluoride to your teeth. Or you can get, fluoride supplements in other ways. Or as long as you go to your dentist every 6 months and get a proper cleaning, then you don't have to worry about cavities. And that's great. Unless you don't have dental insurance, right? Unless you can't afford to go to the dentist. And so the point of water fluoridation is not for you if you live in a middle to upper class neighborhood saying, well, I'm going to be okay. The point of water fluoridation is that it gets to everybody, even the poorest, most vulnerable members of our society, because the point of public health is not necessarily about whether something is going to affect you. It's whether it's going to affect everybody. And what we know is that on average, water fluoridation is not only an incredibly cheap way to make sure people get the fluoride that they need, it's also the most equitable way to make sure that everybody gets the fluoride that they need, not just the people who can afford to go to the dentist, because let's be honest, not everybody goes to the dentist regularly, not everybody brushes their teeth regularly. And so you have to remember that when you're sort of trying to parse through these arguments.
So we're speaking with Dr. Chris Labos about fluoridation in water. And Chris, you're on team fluoridation in water. And in that context, given everything that you've just said about the importance of providing that almost as a, public service, then what do you think of this proposal on the part of the City of Montreal to stop adding fluoride to the West Island's tap water?
I think it's a bad idea. I don't think they should do it. I think we should look next door to Ontario, where something like 70% of the population has a fluoridated water supply. It's never going to be 100%, right? Because people who live in remote communities are obviously not going to do it. People who get their water from well water are not going to do it, right? But for the people who live in municipalities, very high percentage of them in Ontario are fluoridated, very, very low here in Quebec, and that's reflected in the difference in cavity rates between the two provinces. So I think it's a bad idea to lose what little water fluoridation we have. In fact, we should be doing it more universally. I think there is a clear benefit for it. And it's not just me on Team Fluoride, it's actually Santé Publique Quebec, and most professional societies argue in favor of it. It's simply a question of trying to get municipal governments to invest the money to make it happen. And I take issue with the notion this is going to be a cost-saving measure, because when people have done cost-effective analyses about whether water fluoridation saves money, for every dollar you put into a water fluoridation program, you will save between $5 to $50, depending on your, statistical model. But you will save money in dental care in the long term. Because again, it's all well and good to say, well, just go to the dentist more regularly. Going to the dentist is expensive. And while that's not coming out of the city's pocket, it is coming out of your pocket as a citizen. And so this is a cost-saving measure as well, because it's always cheaper to do preventative care than for wait to people to develop the problems and then try to fix them.
So one of the issues, if we look at it from just simply from a point of view of cost, of course, is that it's the city that's paying for the fluoride in the water, and it's not the city that's paying for the dental plan, the public,
Exactly.
public. So exactly. So this is, one of the issues when we talk about different levels of government needing to communicate to one another and making sure that their programs are aligned. I think this is a really good example of that. How much does it actually cost cities? Do we know? Do we have an idea of that?
Well, so the city had, so the part of the issue here is that the infrastructure in the West Island is getting old, and they have to upgrade all the machines. So I think the city is looking at that upfront cost and saying, "Oh, gulp, where are we going to get the money for this?"
Right.
So I think they've quoted that it's going to cost, I can't remember the number. It was in the original Gazette article, actually. So for people who want the actual number, they can go look it up. I mean, the yearly cost is relatively small, especially when you consider that it's going to be spread out over an entire population, right? And that's the issue. I mean, this is what government is for. It's to do these big project things that would be very difficult for citizens to organize on their own. So yeah, it's going to cost money. It's going to cost several $1,000s in terms of yearly expenditures, but that is money that's divided up amongst the entire population. So the incremental cost for you as an individual is going to amount to a relatively small amount when you consider that you go to the dentist and you're often going to have to spend several $100s every time you go to the dentist. So it's clearly the cheaper of the two options.
So a cost-saving measure when it comes to dental work, but a little bit of an investment for the City of Montreal. Dr. Chris Labos, thanks so much for speaking with us today.
My pleasure. You take care.
Thank you. You too.